One of the great advantages of the Good Friday Agreement is that it changed the way people in Northern Ireland viewed national sovereignties. Prior to that, the majority of people in Northern Ireland viewed national sovereignties in a very binary way. They saw themselves as being either Irish or British. The Good Friday Agreement enabled that to be changed, and with the passage of time, people in Northern Ireland saw themselves as Irish and British. Others saw themselves as Northern Irish and European, or Irish and European. And that was a great achievement. And I suppose what it did is what Professor John O'Brien said, is it transformed national sovereignties in Northern Ireland from being something threatening to something that was viewed as being complementary. Unfortunately, Brexit changed all that, and no consideration was given to the impact that Brexit was going to have on the Good Friday Agreement prior to the Brexit vote. But whatever about it changing the perception people in Northern Ireland had about national sovereignties, the subsequent decision by people who advocated for Brexit to go for the hardest form of Brexit had very serious consequences on the workings of the Good Friday Agreement. That was something that was recognised in this House. We debated here, I remember, in 2016 after the Brexit vote. But it was only, I suppose, in the negotiations between the United Kingdom Government and the European Union in around November 2017 that the reality of Brexit met the fantasy of Brexit. And for once there was a recognition by the British Government and the Brexiteers that this was going to be much more complicated than they thought. Now, the immediate response at that time by those who advocated Brexit was to try to undermine the Good Friday Agreement. The charge that was used at the time was that the Good Friday Agreement was unsustainable, or it had served its use, or that it was really, I think one Brexiteer referred to it as being a bribe to two sides, to the extremes in Northern Ireland. So the original policy was to try to undermine the Good Friday Agreement in order to get around the obstacle that it posed to the type of Brexit that they wanted. Fortunately, at that time in Britain, there was a Prime Minister May, who prioritised peace and the Good Friday Agreement. She put forward a deal that was rejected. Prime Minister was changed, and then the new Prime Minister that came in told the unionist politicians of Northern Ireland he would do one thing, and then he did the complete opposite. And so I think we need to appreciate that is what actually happened, that the protocol which was entered into was a reaction and an unnecessary consequence as a result of Brexit, but it was agreed to by the British Government. Now we fast forward to the recent times, and the current argument being made by those who are advocating Brexit is that the protocol is undermining the Good Friday Agreement. Like, the cynicism and the irony of that charge can't be overestimated. The same people who back in 2017 were saying that the Good Friday Agreement is unsustainable and unnecessary are now saying that the protocol that's been entered into is damaging the Good Friday Agreement. Let us recognise this from the outset, that Brexit itself damaged the Good Friday Agreement, and the consequences of Brexit probably also did damage the Good Friday Agreement. But that doesn't mean that we have to just abandon and sacrifice peace on this island and what we've achieved in order to facilitate those who come to this with a Brexiteer mentality. I think the reason why the British Government has now sought to present the Good Friday Agreement as being under threat by the protocol is because it is trying to gain support in the United States for what it's seeking to do. It knows that the Good Friday Agreement is recognised in the United States as being a very important international agreement. It's great that the United States has allowed itself to assume the position of a co-guarantor of the Good Friday Agreement. But now what they're trying to do, the British Government, is they're trying to say, listen, the protocol that we entered into is damaging the Good Friday Agreement, when before that they never had any consideration for it. I think, Minister, we need to be very careful in terms of what we're doing. I think we need to send out a very clear message that the protocol will not be changed. The protocol will not be renegotiated. However, what can be done is that the manner by which it is implemented can be changed, and I know the Irish Government and the European Union have sought to do that, but unfortunately that does not fit within the political agenda of the current British Government. What is the reason why the current British Government wants to get away from the protocol or wishes to raise it as a political issue? It's not out of concern for unionism and unionist politicians. We know that because they threw them under a bus a number of years ago when they signed over the protocol. The reason they probably are doing this is twofold. One, it suits the political agenda of certain individuals within the United Kingdom government to have a situation where Brexit is still a burning issue, where attacking the European Union still serves a political purpose that they have at present. Second, and this is probably a more legitimate purpose, but maybe there's a proposal and a plan that they're trying to preserve the Union because of the threat posed by Scottish independence. I don't know, but I think the Irish Government needs to be very clear in its response. Thanks very much.